Ascertain is about providing healthcare enterprises with a best-in-class automation quickly, safely, and effectively. The overhyped parts of artificial intelligence may be turning into ambient listening, but the way underappreciated parts of artificial intelligence are autonomous agents. And that's what I'm going to be talking a little bit about. So you've heard a lot about smart ambient listening. You probably have heard about copilots, but autonomous agents are a whole nother thing altogether. They're based in generative AI. For those of you who are not familiar, I'm sure you guys use ChatGPT or some derivation of. Yeah, okay. So what ChatGPT is effectively a really smart chatbot, right? And underneath that chat interface is a brain. It's called foundational model, LLM. You guys have probably heard all about it. But what's been happening over the last 12 months or so has been the development of the next generation of that technology. So it turns out that if you want a smart chatbot, all you need is that brain. But if you want to have an automaton, if you want an AI agent that's doing things for you, you have to give it some element of memory. You have to give it some tools so it can enact a plan, okay? So for the past 12, 18 months, the field has been working on that. And guess what? We've been working on it for healthcare for about the same amount of time. The second thing that I'm going to try to convince you of is while this technology is really powerful, there's some really good news, which means while there are a lot of point solutions out there in the world, I'm going to try to convince you that you don't need the point solutions. In fact, you want something that basically addresses a unit of work that we see in lots of different business lines, whether it's patient access or transitions of care. I know it's very hard to read, but across all of that, it's essentially the same unit of work that a lot of admins are doing. So what are they doing? They're effectively gathering data from the medical record or for your CRM or your ERP system. They're adjudicating those rules. They're processing them somehow, comparing them against payer rules, for example. And then finally, they're usually making some sort of decision and communicating that decision out, okay? So I'm grabbing data, I'm adjudicating it, and I'm processing it, so a prior auth. I'm grabbing data from the medical record, I'm assessing it against prior auth rules, the payer rules, and then I'm communicating to the payer that prior auth, or I'm communicating back to the clinician that we need more data, right? So it turns out that we have agents for all of that. So at the beginning, if you're trying to get data, no matter what your source system is, we actually have an ingestion agent that will pull that data from a SQL database, from a legacy system that doesn't even have an API. We have a system for that. We have an agent that's smart about adjudicating rules, whether they're payer rules or they're procurement rules. Essentially, there's an agent that can process those. And then finally, we have a caller agent, sounds like me, makes phone calls autonomously. There's another one that can integrate with payer portals and all sorts of things in the web, and obviously can send out faxes, lots of other really cool stuff. So, okay, enough talking. I'm just gonna show it to you in action. The third thing that I'm gonna try to convince you of through this video is that it's totally obvious that this stuff is not only working to those of us who are using it, but that's gonna change our industry, lots of different business lines. So if you're an end user using it today, it's totally obvious this is gonna happen. So let me show it to you, and hopefully I'll make it obvious to you as well. So first thing I'm gonna show you is the life of a case manager today at Northwell. If you're a case manager today at Northwell, this is your life. You're in a system called CarePort, and you are cutting and pasting from web portals, things like NPI numbers, the referring site, referring clinician. You're going to this portal and that portal. You're basically doing cut and pasting back and forth. There in the right lower corner, corner there is all the clicks that you're doing. This is sped up about 15x. You're going through the referral documentation. You're looking for the reasons for the referral. You're trying to cut and paste, elements of about that referral. Still doing it. Sorry, this is a boring part, but intentionally so, right? Now you're going through Excel and you're looking for the contact information for the payer. Now you're looking for another NPI number, you're cutting and pasting this into the web portal or into the system again, and now you're typing out the contact information, you're gathering the docs, and now you're up to about 100 and, 15 some clicks. On average, today, this takes about an hour, so just short of an hour. Okay, so now, this is what we're doing today at Northwell in the transitions of care team. So we have a work list that it's bidirectionally synced using an LLM that's reading CarePort the same way that a human would. And so it's happening all seamlessly behind the scenes. So you get synchronous, you have a synchronicity between those two systems. You have a system that basically plucked out all of the data assets, assessed whether they're appropriate for that, that prior authorization, summarize them, and even compare them against the payer rules. And so you can look at the documents, there's the summary of the doc. It's already passed. This already happened all autonomously behind the scenes. All those fields that you had to cut and paste into before, they're already all pulled from the web, from your RAG assets and other information. So it's basically all filled in for you. And all you're going to do is basically say, okay, the doc looks pretty good. I think I'm going to submit it. I'll submit it to Health First, and here are the docs. They're already chosen for me. And I'm going to hit a submit button. There we go. And so now you're submitting it to the payer. Behind the scenes, that was about 6 different agents all working together, different LLMs doing different kinds of things, but you don't see any of it. All you see is what used to take you an hour literally takes you about 2 minutes now. So that's all I got. That doesn't get you excited. I don't know what does.